That's real, isn't that? A
Yeah, it's a
Buc-ee's?
real store.
I think it's like a Chuck E. Cheese. I've never been.
Y-
It's like a
it
Chuck E. Cheese? Bradley,
not
insert a picture.
yeah, I'll insert a picture or something.
And then he'll
It's
show me
not
the picture later.
Yeah, it's not really a Chuck E. Cheese. It's like a
It
big
might look.
convenience store, but it just the one that the book takes place in happens to have like a theme park outside.
Yeah! That's why I thought it was a Chuck E. Cheese.
I don't know. I think they're more in like the Midwest, so we
Okay,
don't have anything
we're
around
on the
here.
East Coast. We don't even
Exactly.
know. Have you been to one? Have
No,
you-
I've seen
I've seen
videos
shirts
and
of it.
yeah.
Maybe I need
I've
to look
s-
into it. I watch it and then I do a video just on Buc-ee's. Hi, welcome back to the Invested Introvert podcast. I'm Logan.
and I'm Riley.
And so, today we are talking about All Better Now by Neal Shusterman. Yes? Am I wrong?
Yep. That's
Yes!
the plan.
So this is our October book club pick. So we are a few months behind and Riley picked it. So Riley, give me a little update on what you've been up to. What have you been reading?
So, as far as what I've been reading, I've just started Dan Brown's new book, Secret of Secrets, that came out in I think it was either September or October, I forget when. But that is his latest book. If anyone's seen the movie Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and all that, that's all him. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 200-ish pages in, so it's good. It's a classic Robert Ludlum novel where he is, unexpectedly pulled into some sort of situation that usually involves some sort of murder in some way. And then he's, pulled into the entire situation because they need his expertise in like symbology and stuff. So it's very much a classic book from him. So I'm enjoying it. And, watch out for my Goodreads and I will let you guys know when I think of that. As far as like what I've been watching, I've been trying to watch a bunch of movies off my watch list. So I most recently watched Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke's Training Day. If anyone's seen that movie, it's really good. I will give you guys a warning. It is very violent just going into it just to let you know, but it is a good movie, so it's worth watching. Just know that it does get very violent. Other than that, what have you been up to?
So, what I have been up to and what have I been reading? I am currently reading Tinkerbell, part of the Enchantress Tales, and I have a signed copy that I found when I bought it at Books A Million. I'm also listening to My Name is Barbara by Barbara Streisand, so I'm listening to that on and off. And what have I been up to? Well, I've been working out. I've been working out with a trainer 3 times a week, which is really awesome and pushing me to my limits. I went to visit a place that is boarding my dog while I go off to Puerto Rico to watch my twin play lacrosse, which is really exciting because I've never been. That's where my dad's from. He is from the island, so I'm gonna see his hometown hopefully, and that's happening this week. And I've been doing some auditioning, trying to do more auditions, like get myself back in the game because I was just in a show and now I'm trying to get some paid gigs and find a remote job. But more onto the book. So, Riley and I both read it, I think two different formats. You did you read it physically?
Yeah, I read it. I had a physical.
He has a physical copy. I listened to the audiobook on and off and it took me a long time to get through it. That's why this is so delayed. Riley actually finished the book before me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had two different ratings. Riley, do you want to talk about your rating before we get into spoilers stuff and trigger
Yeah.
warnings?
Yeah. So, as far as my rating, I believe I had it at 4.5. I'll put it up on the screen. But where did you have it, Logan?
I think I had a 5,
Okay.
but it's also
Yeah.
my first Neal Shusterman that I've ever read.
I guess now that we've got that, let's just get into like trigger warnings and stuff.
There are tons.
Yeah. There's a Logan's got an entire list.
I do have a list. Let me open to the page. Do I have a list? I do have a list. I just have to get to it. Ooh, where is it? I probably can list it off the top of my head. Okay, so we have a global pandemic since this does talk to about our 2020 global pandemic that we went through, but also they have their own global pandemic. We have confinement. We have a little bit struggle with mental illness, suicide attempt slash suicide ideation. We have medical trauma and medical illnesses. We have death of a parent, death in general. We have violence and a little bit of gun violence, not a lot, it's towards the end. We have kidnapping, not necessarily torture, but a little bit. Murder attempts, fire. There was an explosion. There's like fire injury. I think that's it, but if there's more that I missed, please look them up before you even read the book. Listen to what we're going to say if you're going to watch this and not read the book, because sometimes I do that and I still read the book. But that's what I think I wrote because I personally write them down. As I go through the book, I write down trigger warnings just in case I recommend the book to anyone. Also, Riley has read other books by this author, so my 5 star might be just because I've never read anything else by the dude. While Riley has read the Scythe series and Wired,
Unwind,
Unwind,
his other
completely
book
different.
series, one of his other book series.
So this is our second time filming this. Riley, do you want me to describe it, or you gave a great description when
Yeah,
we filmed it
I'll
the
go
first
for it.
time?
As far as the book, I chose it because, like Logan mentioned, I have read a bunch of Neal Shusterman's stuff before. I read his Unwind series, Arc of the Scythe, and if anyone has read either of those series or both of them, this was a lot of what I liked about Neal Shusterman and his writing because he's what I like to call like this like social speculation almost, where a lot of his books take place in these like dystopian worlds where stuff has gone absolutely nuts. His Arc of the Side series, it's like, what if we conquered death? And there's a group of these characters called the Sides who are like legally allowed to murder people without any consequence. And then Unwind is about basically what if body harvesting was legal?
That's crazy.
It is crazy. His books are definitely very out there, and there definitely are some like very triggering topics that he talks about in the books. So if you're going to read anything by him, definitely go in, check the trigger warnings ahead of time. I would highly recommend that. But again, this is a lot of what I like about his writing because getting into the summary real quick, like Logan mentioned, it takes place. We're never given a specific year, but I would put it at like 2023 or 2024-ish, something like that. And the world has just gotten out of the COVID pandemic. So they're basically living through the aftermath of that. But another pandemic called Crown Royale has started to pop up. And Crown Royale basically changes your like brain chemistry and personality. So so you don't have any like, I wouldn't even necessarily say negative emotions, but emotions like anger.
You said ambitions, which was
Yeah,
like I was thinking that, and then you said that when we were originally recording, and I was like, he took that from my brain. It's because
yeah,
we're siblings.
yeah. A lot of the ambition, anger, stuff like that is basically suppressed. They're basically given this whole entire sense of euphoria, constant sense of euphoria. And the two main characters are Ron, who is what they call an elf spreader, because after he was exposed to Crown Royale, he basically is constantly spreading the virus. He and then the second main character is Muriel, is who is immune to it. So the two of them go on this entire journey, and it's basically this constant back and forth between the two of Ron wanting to essentially start this crusade to spread the virus as far as he can. And then Muriel, because she doesn't have or she can't get Crown Royal, she can't get into the same like headspace as Ron and become like as consumed with the journey of spreading it as he does. So there's that, there's those two. And then there's another character, Morgan, who, after a whole series of events, she basically inherits this entire fortune by one of the other characters, who we'll talk about in a minute. But she is basically tasked with taking over the company that the other character is running and basically gets tasked with trying to create a virus to fight Crown Royale. So the entire conflict of the book is basically, should we let Crown Royal spread and see what happens after it all spreads, even if the effects of Crown Royal might seem extreme? Is it going to be worth seeing what's on the other side? Or should we, try and stop it and like keep the status quo?
Yeah.
And that's sort of the central conflict of the entire book.
And there's such three extremes of someone who can't experience it and tried so hard to experience Muriel Mar her
Muriel.
so sh Muriel, so she her mother dies of Crown Royal, and even like at the end of her life, because some people don't survive with it because it's similar to COVID, which is mentioned in the book. And so she has euphoria at the end just before she passes away, and she has interacted with so many people, and she's trying to get it and she can't, and she's like, well, this is so I can't get it. And then we have Ron, who's immunocompromised, struggling with his own mental struggles like one does, and
Yeah.
he gets it, and he battles it and then gets this euphoria. And then we have Morgan, who's doing her best not to get it but finding a
She
way
has
to prevent it from spreading. So these are such three extremes that kind of reflects on like what we're currently like. Some people can still get different illnesses that are coming back due to the lack of herd immunity. And it's kind of reflecting on what is currently happening in life. And it's crazy because Morgan did not she got this wealth because she went through these trials of trying to make on the plane. She was delayed, and giving money to this person to make sure that she gets on the plane and gets her destination. And try she goes through these trials, and this older woman's like, I know I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna give you the stuff to find a decrease the spread of it. And it's crazy because then that woman becomes a opposition of what she's doing because she gains this euphoria. She thought she was going to pass away from getting it because some people do pass away from it, which is really crazy because I thought she was going to die. I was like, oh, she's going to pass away and then we're never going to see this woman again. But that's not what happens.
So speaking of Haviland, the character we're talking about, so I personally think she should have, I think, died
Yeah,
a after that, after getting it, because she doesn't really serve too much of a big part of the narrative. So she gets it, or she gives the wealth to Morgan, she gets it, and then she's, sick for a while. She recovers, and then because of like what Crown Royal does to your brain, she decides that she needs to actively fight Morgan to try and stop her from creating the virus and everything, or the counter virus. But even in her opposition to Morgan, she doesn't do anything. She attempts to kidnap Morgan's mother, who I,
has
uh,
dementia.
yeah, she's got dementia, and she attempts to kidnap her and like the house,
Keeper,
yeah, the house, help
who's
that they
doing her
have.
best.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, unless Neal Shusterman has an entire plan for her in book two, which I'm assuming he does,
Yeah,
but I feel like if you lost her as a character, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference either
no.
way.
But then she also tries to take out Morgan.
Yeah, yeah. So
which like
it's
I could, which is very interesting since they don't have like a violent inclination.
no, they don't. Because during the whole kidnapping thing with Morgan's mom, Morgan is like, I know your mindset. You're not going to be able to kill her.
Yeah, you won't hurt her.
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming Neil has some sort of plan for all that,
Yeah.
but I don't think Haviland served too much of a narrative purpose.
Also, Ron meeting a guy who used to be the wealthiest man in the world because his
Oh yeah,
he comes
Uh,
from wealth. He's like the youngest, and his father truly does care about him and cares about other people. Like he has this Airbnb that you can pay what you want and stay there, and you get a stocked house full of food and like things you need. Okay? Like that's pretty nice, and he doesn't he's done with it, and he meets the guy who used to be the wealthiest man and walked away from it, and they haven't seen him again, who is kind of like, he reminds me of like cult leaders because like
yeah,
I
no,
watch videos and
absolutely.
stuff, and he's like,
Yeah, he's like living in this they describe it, he's living
compound.
in this like submarine he turned into a treehouse.
Yeah,
It's
compound.
yeah. He's got like a whole compound.
And he won't
He's got
eat unless you are like, hey, you should eat, because they don't
mhm,
have any inclination to do that unless someone else is like, hey, you should take care of yourself.
yeah. Well, the one interesting thing they mentioned is he got or at the character we're talking about, he got Crown Royal twice.
Yeah. So he's like, I got it twice. Apparently he's gotten it twice.
Yeah.
We don't know if
He's
that's
like
true.
yeah, he's like enlightened.
Yeah.
He's like he's all weird. Yeah. Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
he reminds me of a cult leader, and he's like, we're gonna arm you with guns. We have guns, but we don't use them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem good. To go into the facility which Morgan is running, that Morgan gets Muriel Muriel's to
Blood.
come with her to create a virus to fight Crown Royale because she's like, I need something. I need one person who's immune
Immune.
to it. And since like there was a setup at like a Chuck E. Cheese,
A Bucky's.
a Bucky's, that's real, isn't that? A
Yeah, it's a
Bucky's?
real story.
I think it's like a Chuck E. Cheese. I've never been.
Y-
It's like a
it,
Chuck E. Cheese? Bradley,
not
insert a picture.
yeah, I'll insert a picture or something.
And then he'll
It's
show me
not
the picture later.
yeah, it's not really a Chuck E. Cheese. It's like a
It
big
might look.
convenience store, but it just the one that the book takes place in happens to have like a theme park outside.
Yeah! That's why I thought it was a Chuck E. Cheese.
I don't know. They're more I think they're more in like the Midwest, so we
Okay,
don't have anything
we're
around
on the
here.
East Coast. We don't even
Exactly.
know. Have you been to one?
No, I've seen
I've seen
videos
shirts
and
of it.
yeah.
Maybe I need
I've
to look
s-
into it. I watch it and then I do a video just on Bucky's. They go to a another, I'm gonna call it another compound. They go to this house where this woman, she's enlightened. Her son is also enlightened, but he's gay, and his mom's homophobic. Okay? But she's more enlightened, and she's like, well, it's okay you're gay, but you're still going to hell. And he's the guy he's the one who creates the app that overrides it. And then Ron gives him a kiss as he escapes with access to this app. And I'm pretty sure his mom dies. Not Ron's, the good guys, because there's a gunshot we heard. We don't
yeah.
see anything. It's heard. And it's crazy. It's crazy.
The idea was that they could use the app to start like a mass infection event,
You
essentially.
force them to remove it because it overheats on your face.
Exactly. Which I do want to talk about that entire idea real quick. I
Okay.
forget exactly when. We get told about a whole thing where Ron uses the app in like a train station.
Oh my God, yeah.
So here's my thing with that. I wish we would have either A, seen that event,
Okay.
or B, we've heard of more events like that happening because of
I wish
Ron.
there was like news about
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I get the whole idea that it shows kind of Ron's progression, like further down the rabbit hole and all this. But I think if I had either saw the event firsthand
Yeah.
from Muriel's point of view or heard about like it happening a couple of other times, it's not like her betraying him at the Bucky's didn't make a whole lot of sense. But I think if we'd gotten a better look at how far Ron had gone, I
Yeah.
think it would have sold it a lot better. So I do want to kind of talk about Ron also. So the one big thing for his character is, like we talked about before, there are suicidal tendencies, and it mainly comes from Ron
Yeah.
because, like we talked about, his dad is like the second or third richest person.
Was the third, became the second,
Yeah,
then became the first.
yeah. He's like the
He's moving
first.
up the ladder.
Yeah. But then he talks about, like, as Crown Royal starting to become more dangerous, his dad has the idea of, hey, we're going to hide out in the family compound. Ron basically decides, no, this isn't going to be a good idea for him because he's attempted at least, I think, twice before
He's
the
also
series
already
starts.
so isolated because he is immunocompromised.
And that's why the whole Airbnb thing was super, like, important to him because it was a chance for him to, like, interact with people but still be safe.
And
And it was
help
like,
others.
yeah, it was helping his mental health. But then his dad said, like, hey, we're gonna, go to the family compound
Mm.
and then we're gonna, ride out Crown Rail till it's over. And Ron decides, like, no, this isn't gonna work. And then he decides to leave and then intentionally gets infected.
At a concert.
So,
Yeah.
what did you think of Muriel's character?
Honestly, I don't have a. She is interesting because, like, such three extremes. You can tell she truly does care for Ron, but, like, he's like the only one she cares about left.
Mm,
Um, and her being immunocompromised, not immune, she
immune.
is immune, really, I think messes her up a bit. And I don't think she wants to infect people. She sees how it brings like euphoria, but I don't think, in my belief, she does not want to affect people, like, unless they want it. She doesn't want to cross the app boundaries without consent.
And that's why she gets so angry about the app because they had an entire, pact of
Mm-hmm.
we only infect people that either A, want it, or B, we both agree should be affected or something.
Yeah.
So that's why I think if we had seen more with the app, that then her betrayal of Ron would have made, like I said, it's not that it doesn't make sense, but I think if we had done that, if we had seen more of the app, we would understand where she was coming from more.
Her betrayal is truly out of like she's protecting him because she's like, okay, his dad's looking for him, and she also wants to give people also the choice because I think Morgan is like, we're gonna give them a choice.
Oh yeah,
In
the entire thing with the cure is it's not like a regular vaccine.
Yeah,
It's like they're designing essentially a counter virus that'll spread basically the same way Crown Royale does. So
yeah,
it's not like a regular vaccine where you can have, people voluntarily take it.
and you have some of the virus
Yeah.
to, you know, I
Yeah,
don't know
it's not
science,
anything
but
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
It's like they're designing their own virus to fight Crown Royale, but
In a
it's
boxing match.
exactly. And they end up calling it, I think, La Llorona. Yeah, that was the name they came
Yeah.
up with it.
And it gets people really sick. Like the person they have who has it, who they gave to it, that's a success. She is struggling
Oh yeah,
so hard.
the one test subject, like, goes absolutely nuts.
Yeah, she doesn't like there's water in front of her. She's like, I need water. And it's like, there's water in front of you. I need food. There's food in front of you. And she's like burning up. She does not survive. She is
No,
left in the facility while it's like being
rated.
stormed, raided by the enlightened.
Yeah, the enlightened compound
Yeah.
guys.
But the ending, honestly, if you don't want to read the second book, you can leave it there. Be like, oh, Morgan survived. What's
Mhm.
gonna happen? And you can make up your own ending. But I think it left out a good part that I am interested in the second book.
I no, I'm definitely interested in it. I want to see how he deals with the whole virus versus virus thing.
Yes.
Because a big part of this book, especially in like Morgan's section of the book, it basically is how they're using the fear of the virus to like use a spin doctor style to because they start detailing it as like a spider.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the political aspect of when a global pandemic happens, how people spin it one way or another. And I think this book is so important to our modern society and how people are feeling about medical things. I believe in science.
Oh yeah, no, same.
Oh, constantly. I might be scared of needles, though I have 7 tattoos, but I believe in science. So I think it's really important for nowadays. And I've read a few books that are set during the scary times of 2020. We were only 19, Riley.
I
We were
know.
only
I know.
19. And then we turned 20.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a scary time.
Yeah.
But
No, crazy.
yeah, we lived through that. And so reading a book like that, um, that's why it made me enjoy it more. I think when the second one comes out, the second part, the duology, I think I'll have a better introspection of how I felt about the first one. But right now, sitting reflecting on my experience in a pandemic that I would never wish on anyone. Um, I think it's really good, and it's also my first Neal Shusterman. So if I ever read any other books by Neal Shusterman, if I borrow a copy from Riley, who knows? Um, I think my rating will change, definitely, or stay the same.
I know we talked about this in Court of the Dead. I don't mind as much the modern references
No,
because they service the story and it
it made sense for
like
the
the time.
situation. It's not like they were saying 6, 7. Like, no, it made sense. The technology that they're using, I was like, okay, cool. I know where we're set.
I mean, minus the digital masks, but I can
Mine
get
is
over
the
that.
digital mask. It was like Loki, the series, the different timelines.
Yeah,
It's like that.
yeah. Like I don't mind the modern references in this
It makes
because
so much
they're
sense.
they make more sense and they're so important. Like the setting to the book is so important for the story that it makes sense that they would mention, COVID. I think I forget, they might have even mentioned the election at some point.
Oh my God, yeah.
They mentioned a bunch of that
This
important
makes it makes
stuff.
so much sense though, because it's like our timeline, but not.
Yeah,
It's like it's scary. Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's so important. Good thoughts, Riley. Good thoughts.
Hmm.
Anything else? Oh, should we tell them what our November/December? Should we add 2 books? Maybe we should do a second short story. You can pick a short story for December with the book that we're reading for November because we want to make sure Riley also gets a book. So, the November pick that I picked is Dungeon Crawler Carl. I don't know anything about it, but I'm gonna listen to it on audio/Kindle. And then Riley, you can pick a short story
Yeah, I'll find something.
or something so you can have December. We're gonna have 2 books because
Yeah.
I I think
Along
we
with
definitely can do it.
along with season 2 of Percy Jackson.
Yes, and we'll also be reflecting on our books. Maybe we'll talk about the Goodreads Choice Awards. Maybe we'll talk about what books we want to read next year.
As we get further into December and into January, we'll definitely start, doing our end of the year book content.
Yeah, maybe we gotta do more reels on our Instagram, but
Oh
follow
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, or don't. It's really your choice. We're not gonna force you. That's too much effort.
Yeah, check us out on the Invested Introverts podcast Instagram. As always, I will link everything down in the comments. I will also link my Goodreads, your Goodreads, and also my Letterboxd and a
I
whole
also
bunch
have
of
a
other stuff.
Storygraph if you want to link that.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah,
link that too.
you can follow us. We don't bite. We're not vicious.
All
Actually,
right.
I'm vicious, but that's it. Anything else, Riley?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Have a great day, evening, wherever you are. Drink water. I have to
Hmm.
drink water after this.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Take care of yourself. Read some books. Watch some movies.
You've
We'll
been
see you.
listening to the Invested Introverts podcast. I'm Riley,
I'm Logan.
and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
See ya.